Hello, good evening, and welcome to Pure Heart Ministries YouTube channel, Evenings with Evangelist. I'm your host, Evangelist Patricia Fowler, and today we want to talk to you about domestic violence and specifically what is domestic violence. I know a lot of you out there know what it is, but there's a lot of people out there that do not know what it is or what it entails. And I want to make sure that by the end of this video, you have a clear understanding of what domestic violence is, so you can be aware, so you can look for the signs and symptoms or the red flags. So if you see it, you'll be able to identify it. So according to the National Victim Association Against Domestic Violence is the willful intimidation from one intimate partner to another. Now, this could mean from a husband to a wife, from a wife to a husband. It also happens in bisexual relationships, woman to woman, or man to man. No type of relationship is exempt. Heterosexual, straight, gay, or whatever, it happens in all types of relationships. Also, domestic violence is not exempt to an age limit. Teenagers have domestic violence. Older people have domestic violence issues. Believe it or not, you don't hear about it as much as you do of middle age range, but it does happen in some cases. So today, I just want to talk to you about the different types of domestic violence so you can be aware, so you can share with someone. So when you hear someone say, well, my husband talks to me like this all the time, you know, he may curse you out in front of your friends and family or in public. But to be honest with you, that's not okay. And that is considered domestic violence. Domestic violence is not just physical violence against a person, but there are a number of types of violence, one being verbal abuse. That is domestic violence. If your spouse, children's father, husband, wife talk to you in a way that's not appropriate, in a way that they would not want you talking to them, that's considered domestic violence. And you have to know this. So a lot of times we let it happen and then we say, well, that's just how they are. But to be honest with yourself, you should not let it happen. You have to stop it. And a lot of times if we stop domestic violence, when we see the first signs of it, it won't lead to something dangerous in the end or ultimately to someone's life being taken because we did nothing about it. Another type of domestic violence is financial abuse. A lot of times the abuser, which will be the man, most of the times, again, it could be a woman, the man, he will control your money. He may take your bank card. He may keep track of your paycheck. He may keep track of your ATM card and not allow you to go there, or he will go with you. That is considered financial abuse and should never happen. If you're working 8 hours a day on your job, 40 hours a week, or what have you, no one should tell you when you can go get your money and spend it or where you should spend it, or should not take your money and then give you an allowance from it. That's your money you've earned uprightly, and you should be in control of it. So we have to remember, domestic violence comes in different forms. So far, we've heard of the verbal abuse, and now I'm just speaking of the financial abuse. Next, we want to talk about mental abuse in domestic violence. Mental abuse can come when a person just really tries to get in your mind and have you so thinking negatively that you've done something wrong, that you caused something. I've heard women say, even myself, what did I do wrong? You never do anything wrong. You never do anything wrong. There's no reason for you to endure domestic violence because your mate may get mad for whatever reason. You didn't cook the right meal, or you got home 5 minutes late from school, or the kids are crying uncontrollably. Those are things that are out of our control. We have no reason that we can stop that, or there's no reason that your mate or spouse, husband, wife, children's father, what have you, should take something out on you because these things are happening. And that's why we have to be aware of what's going on in our lives, in our relationships, so we can understand and be more aware. Because once they get in your mind, they can have you thinking that you always cause a problem, which makes them do something to you. And that's not right. It's not true. And let me tell you that right now. If you believe that, today you need to stop thinking like that, because that's not the real reason why they're doing what they're doing to you. A lot of times men go through things, and for example, I know a case of someone that was sexually abused as a teen by a man, and they never exposed it to anyone. So as he got older, he started, he had anger issues that in dealing with that. When something happened to you and you don't deal with it, you learn to build up anger, and then you get a bitterness. And then sometimes the least little things can make you mad, make you angry, and then you act out against someone else who has nothing to do with the issue they're dealing with. So you have to keep this in mind, and that's why you should know your spouse or your mate. You shouldn't just hook up with somebody. Your spouse or mate should be God sent. If they're not God sent, they're not for you. And this is how a lot of times as women, we get ourselves in situations that is not good, because we hook up with somebody that's really not good for us. But at the time, we don't see that. Love is blinding at times. When you're young, when you just think, oh my God, this is the one, he's everything. And then a year later, this person that you thought was everything has turned into somebody else you don't even know. So you have to be careful who you connect with, who you start building with. Get to know someone before you get in a serious relationship with them, or even talking about marriage. Go to marriage counseling. I would assure you to go to marriage counseling before you get married. And that even includes myself, which I didn't do, in the past. But going forward, now I know that's something that I definitely would do moving forward. Next, we want to talk about stalking. Stalking is a form of domestic violence. When you just have that ex that will not leave you alone. They're coming to your job. They're showing up when you go to the grocery store, the 7-Eleven, the gas station, and it just seems like wherever you are, they just happen to show up or appear. That's a form of domestic violence. So if you're going through that, you need to go to the courts and let them know, get a protective order, let them know you used to be involved with this person, you're no longer with them, but they are stalking you every day, every hour on the hour. They're coming to your job, they're harassing your family, and that has been well known to happen when a couple split up and the guy just doesn't want to let go. He will harass their family and make them fearful of him. He will also threaten, if the woman has children, he will threaten the children as well. So we, as women, we just have to be careful what we're doing out here nowadays, because there's so much going on and so many women are being hurt and killed on a daily basis. Domestic violence has risen so much that it's not even funny. I mean, just as soon as you can turn on the news, we're hearing of another case, and it's just so many people are standing by and letting it happen too. That's the other thing. We have to start doing something about it. If you see something, say something. Call someone. Call the police anonymously. You can do anything to help that possibly could save someone's life. And this could be a woman or a man. I'm not just speaking specifically for women. When you hear me talk about domestic violence, a lot of times people assume I'm just talking about women, but I'm not. I'm speaking for the man that's being abused as well. So we just have to remember, domestic violence does not exempt from male or female. Okay? Okay. And while I'm going along, if you have any questions, once you finish watching this, please post your questions down below, and I will get back to you and answer your questions and let you know the answer to the questions. And if I don't have the answers, I will surely find out for you and get them to you. If you need a resource number, a shelter number, somewhere to call, please let me know. Leave a message down below and I will surely get back to you as soon as I can with those answers. Also, in domestic violence, there's emotional abuse. Emotional abuse can be sometimes worse than the physical abuse. We know when we get abused physically, we have bruises. Women, we're covering up with makeup. We're going to the hospital saying we fell and we really didn't fall. We've gotten beaten and we're just trying to hide it and protect the abuser. No more. We have to stop protecting the abuser. We have to do what's right for us so we don't keep ending up in the emergency room or the hospital with broken bones and black eyes and things like that. Emotional abuse will stay with you for a long time. The bruises will fade after you stop wearing the makeup. The bruises will go away. But emotional abuse is mentally inside of you. You have to get help for that. You have to get counseling. You have to talk about it. You have to express how you feel about it. What do you think about what happened to you? Why did this happen to me? I've heard a lot of women say, I'm not that type of person to be beat. What type of person or woman is a type that gets beat? Do I look like I'm a type of person that I should be beat? I don't know. I think I look like a regular woman, like any other lady. And I don't think I look like I should be beat or mistreated in any type of way. And neither should you. There's no reason for it. So we have to remember, domestic violence comes in so many forms: emotional, mental, physical, financial, spiritual abuse. There have been times where you have men, they won't allow their women to go to church. Don't go to church telling them people my business. They don't want you to go to counseling. I'm not talking to them about my business. They don't know me. They can't tell me what to do and all those type of things. It's not even about that, ladies. It's not even about that. If you're in that type of situation, you need to talk to somebody. You need to talk to somebody. If you don't feel like you can tell your friends and family what's going on, tell a stranger. Tell a stranger. Because that will help you in the long run. Believe it or not, you may think it won't, but I assure you it will help you. If you just tell one person what's going on, someone should be able to get help for you to get you out of that situation. And I know people say, well, you don't understand. It's not that easy to get out. Well, guess what? I do understand that it's not that easy to get out. And it's not as simple as just getting up and walking out the house and never coming back. Because you have to have a plan. When you're in a domestic violence situation, you must have a plan in order to get out. Because first of all, you need money. You have to make sure you have your credentials. You have to have somewhere to go. And you need a support system. So those are some of the things that you need to have in order to get to a safe place. You need to get out of that lifestyle. That's not for you, and that's not what God intended for you to endure on any level. On any level. So today, I urge you, of the things you've heard me speak about of what domestic violence is: physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, stalking, spiritual abuse. Please let somebody know if you're experiencing any of these type of things. If your mate curses you out at home, in public, if they just may smack you around a little bit, that's still abuse. Abuse is abuse, and there's no better level of abuse if you've just been smacked or if you've almost been killed. Abuse is still abuse. So I urge you today, you can always call the domestic violence 1-800 number, 1-800-799-SAFE. Again, that's 1-800-799-SAFE. And then whatever county or state you live in, there's resources in your state or county that can help you as well. Tell somebody, ask someone, where should I call to get help? If you ask me, I'll tell you. Inbox me. Send me an email. You can send me an email to pureheartministries2@gmail.com. I will answer any questions you have. I will refer you to any resources that you may need to get you some help, to get you out of this situation. Again, today I'm just talking about what domestic violence is, so you can be aware of the signs and what areas it comes in so that you will know, so that you can be able to help and maybe tell someone else. And again, if you have any questions, please leave me comments. Leave me comments under this post, and I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can with answers for you. So today, I thank you for joining Pure Heart Ministries Evenings with Evangelists, talking about what is domestic violence. Thank you, bless you, and I hope you have a great rest of the afternoon and weekend, and I'll be looking for your comments and or questions. Thank you, and bye-bye.